well, you probably did as well, but you know, what did it mean? I mean, how did those conversations go? Did I make any sense at all when I was speaking to you?
You're looking around.
I'm looking at you because
My advice to everyone: watch Grey's Anatomy.
I was thinking exactly the same.
I have watched it like twice before I went into treatment.
And New Amsterdam as well.
That's terrible. Grey's Anatomy. Don't watch Short and Straight.
Yeah, because
Grey's Anatomy.
everything
Yeah,
that
it's not
happens,
short and
everything
straight.
that happens on Grey's Anatomy happens in these hospital walls.
Yeah. The on-call rooms. They don't exist apparently, but you know, those scandals.
I think what I was thinking when
Sorry.
I didn't have to hide. No, I'm sorry.
you know, I think that to some extent
Totally.
that is what the whole purpose of setting up the AOA Cancer Service was. Like, you know, it was about, okay, this is a hospital system or services that are completely designed for the majority of patients, which are those over 65 years of age. So setting up this service was about addressing that gap and figuring out a way of really adapting it to this age group. And so I guess, you know, one of the sort of things that we'd want to get across is the fact that, you know, that's where I guess people like my role or the, you know, Sean's, who is, you know, part of the service, and we've got other people as well, is that it's people that have done extra sort of study and spent time thinking about actually, just like Sean said, what it would have been like and how do I need to adapt what I do to make sure that you guys get the information that you need, that you're supported, that, you know, you get through your treatment, because it's actually a massive ask. It's a massive ask for someone who's had a lot of life experience and ups and downs and have figured out things where quite often, you know, the people that I'm working with, you know, this is the big, it's a major hurdle, but this is the big first almost hurdle that they've actually had to come across. And so they haven't had those times to learn from, to figure out, you know, what their coping mechanisms are or any of that. So I think, you know, the key is to know that we're out there, to you know, to ask. I think, you know, like what Nick was saying is, you know, to talk to the people that can give you that information. There's like resources, and there are resources that are specifically designed for young people. So it's about getting your hands on them, which we would hope happens really smoothly, but I think that sometimes it doesn't, and you actually, you know, people who are watching these videos might go, well, actually I need to ask that question, I need to ask to speak to a social worker, or I need to ask to speak to a young person's nurse, cancer nurse, you know, or whatever their issue is. It's, you know, it's hard to speak up for yourself, but, you know, finding someone that will speak up, you know, for you.
Because there's also like every day you have the doctors come around, but they're different doctors every time. Yeah. So my relationship with Sean is so different.
Put different hats on.
Yeah.
For the false beard.
Yeah, no, but like even that, because it'll be like the way you would talk to me would be different to someone else that will come in. So how would someone navigate that if they don't know how to advocate for themselves? Like, it's actually really nerve-wracking to be like, I have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because as young people, I mean, not that we're proud, but we like to, I mean, have an idea of we understand
really
what's going
just, like,
on.
nodding along.
Yeah, and so was I. Like, I was like Madagascar penguin, like, smiling away, you know? Like,
yeah.
So how can people, like, advocate for themselves when they are constantly every day, you know, there'll be a different doctor, and then the conversation and the things they're saying is really different. Yeah. That's what I struggled with. So I didn't realise that's how it was going to go down. Because obviously I had Sean first and I seen him for a bit, and then I was like, who's this random man telling me that what's going on now? I don't even, you know, like I didn't quite understand that part of it.
I think I was allowed a break from the ward at that point.
Like, you know, how your days and your rounds, but it's like something like I wasn't prepared for, but how can, I guess, a young person be an advocate to be like, I don't understand.
Yeah, and I think it's in some ways it's really hard to expect a young person to be an advocate, like, and to be able to advocate for themselves, and they shouldn't have to.
That's where you
and
come
I think
in, isn't
that's where my role comes in. Like, you know, that's a big part of my role, is that, you know, actually you guys were all really good advocates for yourself. I was there as a support, but for some people I actually really have to advocate for them. Like, that is my role, like, you know, and so it's.
But it's not only just for, like, patients as well.
Yeah.
I know, like, for me, I was on the ward for a really long time, and I had like a room with a pull-out bed. My mum stayed almost every night because of the doctor's rounds. You know, she wanted to know, she wanted to be involved, she wanted to understand, and like having the AYA like, you know, rooms, and then having the space. There's like a little lounge in Christchurch, and so you've got that like family. Well, for me, I was fortunate enough to have my family here and wanting to be a part of my journey and really involved.
Yeah.
So, you know, and like the AYA provided that, but not only did you support me and I kind of had more understanding than like my mum or my dad, and my grandparents didn't even know what, like,
you were supporting
what,
them.
yeah, they're like, what even is this? Like, you know? So it was kind of like, it's not just like it is for us,
Yes.
but like, you know, you're there to ask, like anyone's there to go to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, you know, that's a really good point that, you know, we'd want to get across, is that, you know, as young people going in through the health system, is that you're entitled to have support. You're entitled to have a loved one, a support person with you, you know, to advocate for you, or just to support you, just to be there, because it's a pretty scary place. And, you know, this, I mean, it's like, even at my age, I think that I quite like someone with me. Like, you know, I like, you know, like anybody is entitled to have a support person with them. And I know in the hospital system, we're quite good at maybe not making that as easy as it should be. I think it's getting better. I think it is getting a lot better. And I think we've done a lot of work for, especially for young people, you know, that is the expectation, is that you can have someone with you.
And it's had quite a nice knock-on effect for some slightly older, but also young patients as well. We've got those rooms with the pull-down desks. So other people that don't fit that 12 to 24 bracket, just a bit older, they're still they're getting the benefit from that as well. It's nice. I think your family were really important. Well, I'd say probably all of you. I had less to do with you. I remember going here.
But I think that's also, it's about what you guys want as well. And, you know, so it's advocating for that. So, you know, Mia, it really worked for you to have your family with you and have a support person with you. But I've definitely had the other side of the coin, where the young person's like, I've been living away from home for the last 3 years. I actually don't like the fact that my mum is here 24/7. Like, you know, I've stopped that part of my life is finished. And so then it becomes my role to have those conversations and to help that young person to sort of navigate that relationship and their independence, because that's really important. So sometimes it's having conversations with parents to say, hey, you know, like, they really appreciate your support and stuff, but we've got to remember that they're adults. And
I found that hard because I'd lived since 18. I kind of buggered off. I worked over in Australia and hadn't been home, so I got kind of that, having mum there kind of overlooking me all the time. That was kind of, felt like the independence had kind of gone, and you kind of have your arguments, you have your fights and all that, but end of the day, that's family. You're going to say sorry at one point of the time and through the journey. You're going to have multiple fights really with them, but that's part of the journey, really.
Yeah, I love the way you phrased that. It's beautiful.